Welcome to the Weekend Focus that comes to you on every Sunday at 9 p.m. right here on Lookuptv Weekend. My name is John Matave, and of course we'll be looking at matters that happened throughout the week. And of course, top of them, the Kenyan shilling versus the dollar, and that is the Eurobond debt, and as well as we'll look at the Raila AU's bid and the Mount Kenya politics as well. And with me in studio to break it down for you, viewer, for you to understand very great, with me in studio are some amazing guests. Let me just start right on my side is Wanjiku Muriithi, the National Treasurer, UDA Youth League. And then at the center is Victor M. Mwalu, the National Youth Leader. And then at the farthest we have Ms. Rachel Tabitha, the National Youth Advocate. You're welcome. Yeah, currently Kenyan shilling has significantly strengthened against the American dollar. The dramatic appreciation, the Kenyan currency against the USD comes after the state got like the 1.5 billion Kenyan shillings to repay the previous Eurobond debt. But to just start it, are we headed in the right place, having the Kenyan shilling volatile against the dollar? Let's start with you, Tabitha.
Thank you so much, Lookuptv, for having us today. And my name, as you just heard, is Rachel Tabitha, a National Youth Advocate, but playing opposition politics. Raila Odinga died. Now, back to the question, I think whatever is happening now, looking at the economy of Kenya, it is just like, if I put it in the easiest possible terms, I'd say that this is something that has come, like the dollar, as the shilling has become stronger than the dollar, which is true. But then, for a shilling to become stronger than a dollar, it means that the country has circulation of money. But looking at the country, our economy is still at the same place. First of all, what have we exported for us to have circulation of money? Nothing. We've no minerals. We've no gold to export. Nothing we've exported for us to have circulation of money. Looking at it from the economic angle of it. So I feel this is something that is it's like a game. I'm not being biased, actually. I have nothing against the government. But I feel, in my own opinion, it's just a game. And in 3 months' time, give it just 3 months, the truth will hit us. This dollar will shoot again because we don't have supportive, like we don't have anything like to support this shilling to stay stronger. We have nothing, literally. Nothing is circulating. So I think it's just a game for a short period of time, a political tool, and within no time, the reality will hit.
Thank you. Over to you, Victor. Just give us a brief introduction of yourself, and what are your thoughts on the current Kenyan shilling appreciating against the dollar?
My name is Victor Mwalu, National Youth Leader, and also playing opposition politics, also the Secretary General of all private universities in Kenya. Back to your question, as you've asked, I think the Kenyan economy has been a subject of interest and scrutiny, I think, in recent times. And this because, especially regarding the performance of the Kenyan shilling against the US dollar. So, of course, before the Kenyan shilling stabilized, the shilling has experienced significant fluctuations. And I know you have noticed the crazy, I don't know to call it Osaka, that has been happening with the shilling and the dollar. So the exchange rate has been volatile, and when the shilling depreciating against the dollar at times and recently appreciating, I can term it as this volatility has raised concerns, of course, among different international investors. And of course, we have seen even the policymakers being affected with this issue. So about the stability of the dollar, it's a matter of time, as Tabitha said, because I blame also the government also, because we've seen when the first Eurobond was released, that is in 2014, we saw that it needed to, of course, deal in matters infrastructure, health, and everything. And for that to be done, the shilling must be, of course, stable to the US dollar. So I think it's just a matter of time, and the shilling also appreciates again.
All right, thank you for that. Now over to you, Anjiku. Now, since like the shilling will be sustaining again over some time, what impact will it be on to Kenyans?
Good evening, Kenyans who are watching us from wherever you're watching us from. My name is Anjiku Muridi, a youth leader in UDA party. I wish to state this, that the Kenya shilling stabilizing is a step towards the right direction. Allow me look at it from a trade perspective. Now, the global trade is governed or is run by dollars. And what that means is, as a state, we all know that most of the goods that we consume are imports. And the implication is that when we have a stronger shilling, then we are able to import more. When we import more, it means we have import businesses growing, and as a result, people are able to get the products in Kenya at cheaper prices. And also looking at it from the export perspective, this is what then the implication will be. That for anybody who is now importing something from Kenya, it means it will seem cheaper to them. That means we will expand our export markets, though however little it might be, but then we are going to expand it. But most importantly, attention is supposed to be paid on the imports. We're going to import more goods at a cheaper price, and consequently the goods will be cheaper. Again, I wish to look at the dollar from the point of during the COVID times, the US government printed dollars in plenty, and there was a lot of circulation of the dollar in the United States, and consequently America had to raise their interest rates to a point that those people who are holding dollars outside, they had to remit them back to the banks. And that is how America was able to stabilize the dollar. Now the implication is that there is a projection that in the next 2-3 months, the dollar is going to stabilize, the rates have stabilized themselves, and that means America will have much to invest in Africa. So they will come run investment businesses in Africa. Again, the lucky Kenyans who had the opportunity to run to America since the interest rates were higher to invest there will now have to come back and invest in our country. Could be in the form of stock exchange.
Awesome. Tabitha, you mentioned something that the deal sounds so good, but in a matter of time, the shilling could go to its position against the dollar. Why do you say so?
I said so because for the shilling to be stronger, as I said, against the dollar, it shows that there is cash flow and cash circulation in our country in terms of economy. But being realistically in our country, there is no cash flow. Even with the dollar depreciating, there is still no cash flow. The state has remained the same. And what supports cash flow? It's a stability of a nation when that nation is able to sell something, like to export. You know, exportation is what makes the country have like more money, not just small businesses and taxation. So looking at my own country, we have nothing to export. We have no minerals, we have no gold, we have nothing to export. So what is that big thing that we've really sold from our country to be able to get more money that will come and circulate in our country for us to make our shilling stronger? That is why I said this shilling, it is just a game. And if it's really real, then can we get also evidence around it? This has happened, and this is why the shilling has become stronger. Because for the shilling to be stronger, there must be cash circulation. And cash circulation comes from maybe trading. Now what have we traded? nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's cross over to some Eurobond. According to RUTO, the other day at Naivasha, he said the Eurobond, the partial repayment, has seen the shilling gain over the dollar. But what's the impact of that? Let me start with you.
Thank you, John. So the impact of the Eurobond, allow me start from a perspective where I want to draw this example where I will compare any government to a company.
Yeah.
The essence is that for a company to run, it is guaranteed by the shareholders. The same way for a government to run, it is guaranteed by the citizens.
Yeah.
And the implication of that is the government has no active source of income other than our revenue. That is the main source of income for our government. But in the event that that is not enough to sustain its activities, it then has to go for external debts. Now, coming to the Eurobond, we had the first loan taken in 2014 by former President Uhuru, and he took a loan of $2 billion.
Yeah.
But then the loan was due 24th June this year. And the implications are two, that whenever a government defaults in payments, the options are only two. One, what you give as a collateral for that loan ceases. And that means you lose control over it. Of the second thing, as a government, you may opt to negotiate for a debt restructure.
Yeah.
The implication of a debt restructure is that, one, the lender is going to lose confidence in you. And the next time you'll be out there to borrow, it means you will be charged higher interest rates.
Yeah.
What does that mean? You have few people to borrow money from, and when you borrow, it is at a higher price.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Over to you, Victor. We've borrowed to settle a loan or even just service another loan. Is that a good thing as a government? What are your thoughts on that?
Thank you. Before I answer your question, I'd like to say there are several factors that contribute to when a government is borrowing either or issuing bonds. And one of the factors that these factors also contribute to the volatility of the, as we are discussing, the Kenyan shilling. And one of the primary factors is the global economic environment, and including also the performance of the US economy and the Federal Reserve's monetary policy. So changes in the US interest rates, which is the United States, and the strength of a dollar have a direct impact on the exchange rate between the shilling and the dollar. So to break down the thing about the Eurobond and Kenya about borrowing, of course Kenya has been active in the international bond market since 2014, when we had, of course, our first Eurobond being issued. And in 2014, if you can remember, and statistics say that Kenya issued its debut Eurobond. It was in June or July, I can't remember. But it raised a Eurobond of around $2 billion. The bond was oversubscribed, indicating that there was a strong investor interest in Kenya. So the bond was issued in two tranches, and I want it to break down in the two tranches. So the first tranche was the 5-year bond, which had I think a coupon rate of around 5.875%, and the second tranche was a 10-year bond with a coupon rate of 6.875%. We went ahead and borrowed another and issued another bond, which was in 2018 February, and it was also oversubscribed, which meant that we had a strong investor interest in Kenya. The 2018 bond was also issued in two tranches. Same to the 2019 bond, which I think was the third bond that Kenya was issued. So as now it proceeds, one of these, the proceeds of these Eurobond issuances have been used to finance development projects, as I earlier said, either in the infrastructure, health, education, among other areas. However, to answer your question, Kenya's Eurobond issuances have also raised concerns about the country's rising debt levels.
Okay, let me just interrupt you, Victor. Are you trying to mean that as a country, we borrowed so that we can service another loan. Is it a good thing that we can keep on doing, or alternatively, can we sort out any other options other than borrowing completely?
I believe it's a good thing when a country, of course, when it's also in debt, it's a good thing when we borrow. But I think too much borrowing also, without even, I think we had not paid our first Eurobond. So too much pain might lead also to the country leading to either the shilling also depreciating, among many other areas. So I believe that it's a good thing.
Yeah.
On the other side, it's a bad thing. I think it's a mix of it's a matter of that has mixed reactions.
All right. Thank you for that. Now let's cross over to the Raila Hayu's bid, just because of time. Let me start with you, Tabitha. We've seen the government, and especially the Kenya Kwanza government, has been backing for Raila to clinch the seat. From where you sit, what are your thoughts on that? Could it be an hidden agenda somewhere?
From where I sit, and thank you for your question, it could be just genuine. That's one. It could be genuine because Baba Raila Amolo Odinga is a leader for all of us, the ones in government and the ones in opposition. So it could be, looking at the history of Raila, it could be genuine. And number two, it could be like assumption, influence, not even no one can trap Baba. No one can trap Raila Odinga, like nobody. He's an engineer of politics. But there could be an assumption that if Baba exits Kenyan politics, that is in quotes, if really goes to AU, we will have a free space to operate as the administration, as the current administration. So the best thing to do is to champion for it, is to push for it, is to support him, go. So that you could know, where there's no opposition, it will be weak, of course. It will be weakened because he will now have other responsibilities. But the fact is, whether he's gone or around, he's still strong. Whether,
So. Right, and those are the allegations that are going all around, and many Kenyans they really want to know if he gets the seat, what happens in the succession battle and the divisions among the opposition. Over to you, Wanjiku. If Odinga settles for the AU position, now what happens to the current ODM recruitment drive, what he's been achieving as a country, the opposition part as well?
Thank you for that, John. First, I believe ODM has to exist in the presence or in the absence of Raila. ODM is not Raila and Raila is not ODM. That means when he becomes chairperson of the AU, which I am really, really praying for, I wish him all the best sitting from this point in the UDA party. It means that ODM will continue running. We have other leaders. He has his assistants. They have a leadership structure. Then I don't see a reason as to why there should be divisions in his party. After all, I want to believe he has been in the political arena for such a long time. And I want to believe he has mentored others to take after him.
Great. Over now to you, Victor. Now let's imagine Raila Odinga now gets the seat. As a country, what are we looking into? What are some of the privileges maybe we're gonna get about it?
Thank you for the question, John. As you can remember, Baba also served as the infrastructure, I think, rep to the African Union. And you can remember that's the time that as East Africa, we had really high development in infrastructure. We had a road connecting Tanzania, that is the SGR in Tanzania. We have the developments that Uhuru came with also in Kenya and also in Uganda. So I believe Baba, when he gets the chairperson, which I term it as the president of Africa, I believe as a East Africa and Africa as a whole, we'll have so many privileges, matters infrastructure. And I believe it won't be, Baba has always been a man who fulfills promises, and is one of the little few politicians that I know Baba has been fulfilling promises. Because John, I don't want to compare, I can compare Kenyan politicians to a Kenyan man. The period when a Kenyan man sleeps with a Kenyan girl, the spirit of love vanishes.
Completely.
Same to same to politicians. After campaigns, the only time you'll see the politician again is either during a public participation or again when he's campaigning. But we have had some few leaders, terms of Baba, who have fulfilled their promises in different areas, and I know and I'm very sure that when Baba gets the seat, matters health, matters infrastructure, matters education will really be in an increase in Africa.
Oh, great. So over to you, Tabitha. What are we looking to as a country if Baba gets the seat? What are the privileges? What do you think will work differently as a country?
I think when Baba Odinga gets the seat, first, as a leader who is coming from our country, Kenya, it is already a plus. It's already a privilege to the country because as he serves the other African countries, because he's already a Pan-African leader who has been championing for the rights of Africa, strengthening Pan-Africanism and all that. I think also charity begins at home. And this doesn't mean that you will not serve other African countries. So I think as a country, Kenya, he will be able to open more doors for developments, maybe working with the, of course, advising the president. And he'll be able to champion for the country beyond now Kenya, now taking it to the African center stage.
Okay, great.
Also,
all right.
To add on what my colleagues have said.
Yes, please.
There's Baba having the seat at the AU will give if it's genuine or not genuine, it will give the current president, I think, space for him to serve. But
now what happens to the opposition?
The opposition is that's why I want to tell you, it's like a house where a man believes in the values of Americs, and the woman anangoja kusikia zile mawaidha ya bimsafari pale Citizen. So of course the house itanuka ya boxing ring, itakuwa ni kama boxing ring. So Baba leaving the center of the ground politics in Kenya and going for the bigger seat in AU, of course will leave the current government a space and the time to serve. But also you have the opposition, whereby Baba has created the opposition, and we have never had we have never had any other opposition strong leader other than Baba. I believe to the second person after Baba, we have Kalonzo. Kalonzo is very strong, so he'll take the opposition. All
right. Wenjeku just seemed to have an answer on that. What are your thoughts?
Yes, I do. And I start by saying this. I think in Kenya, we're so used to the hide and seek politics to a point that when even something is given genuinely, we honestly think there is some game being played on us. But that's not the case. From where I stand, it's from a very, very genuine point that one, Raila has been tried, tested, and he has been proven. One, Raila is a statesman. He is a symbol of unity, and that is evident when he decided to have a handshake with our former president. So I'm looking at it at a bigger picture where if he did that for Kenya, how about when he is the AU chair? I think he will do it bigger. Again, it will be a plus for Kenyans because one, he will be able to create the links and the cohesion between Kenya and other states. And the things that our president is struggling with, like now he's trying to make Kenya a visa-free destination, but he's not getting reciprocation from the other states. I think when we have Raila as the chairperson of the AU, such things will be easier to accomplish.
Awesome. Just winding up, maybe Tabitha, we could start with you, just a minute each, less than a minute. Just give your parting shot.
My parting shot now to Kenyans is let's just hope for the best. Let's pray for Baba to get this position. It will really be for us as Kenyans. Let's hope that the Kenyan government will be stable. If you have the duty to pay taxes, just pay the taxes. They will help us stabilize the country. And if the taxes are paid now to our government, let them be utilized in the proper way. Otherwise, all the best to all of us, and have a good night. Right.
Over to you, Victor. What do you tell Kenyans tonight?
Baba is the African African president. He's the president that Kenya has never had, but we enjoy him as also the president of Kenya, and recognize the whole of opposition working right behind him. And whenever we are seeing one of us going for the higher seat, we'll support him. We'll mobilize the youths in Kenya, different parts, from the northern to the eastern to the western to the southern part of Kenya, to support Baba. And of course, let's rally also, because these are things that individuals cannot support him individually.
Yeah.
The other states also to support him also.
All right, thank you. Over to you, Wanjiku. Friendly, what do you say? Less than a minute.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
For me, it's a clarion call to my fellow Kenyans that let us exercise patience, let us exercise hope, and as we do this, let us kindly exercise patriotism as well. Let us give our government time to deliver. We've seen it's doing well so far. Let's give our president time to deliver. And as we do that, let us not celebrate or be there to cheer and when our government is failing. Remember, a failing government is a failing state, and a failing state means it's a nation whereby you and I, Kenyan, we are suffering. And to our government, in as much as we are borrowing to run our business, kindly remember to minimize the losses that you're making, because it is our money that you use to service those loans. Yeah.
Great, sounds great. Thank you so much. That was Wanjiku Mureithi, the National Treasurer, UDA Youth League. And in between is Victor M. Mwalu, the National Youth Leader. And of course, at the farthest end is Miss Rachel Tabitha, the National Youth Advocate. And we do really appreciate for you coming along and being part of this discussion. Of course, I can see some few comments. Because of time, we won't be taking them. Many thanks for watching, and those that made this bulletin a success, we are saying thank you. It's a topic of discussion to be done another day and with a longer time. My name is John Matava. Please do have a good night.
We value your feedback and